In a sleek, sunlit modern kitchen, rows of glossy stainless steel cabinets stretch from floor to ceiling, reflecting the light streaming through the huge window above. But it's not just any kitchen. It's a fully equipped gym, complete with a shiny chrome pull-up bar installed beneath the cabinets. And right now, 5 adorable anthropomorphic fruits are warming up, preparing to take on the ultimate fruit fitness challenge. First up is Rosco, the rose apple, a handsome heartthrob with a glossy red-pink bell shape. He bounces on his heels, cracks his knuckles, then takes a deep breath and announces, "Here we go." He drops down and grabs the bar with surprisingly strong little hands, his entire body trembling with effort. His face is screwed up in concentration as he lets out some squishy grunts like, "Hoo, hoo." Sweat trickles down his shiny skin, and he loses his balance, swinging wildly before regaining his composure. But after a few more seconds, his grip begins to fail him, and he starts to slip. With exaggerated tension, his pink bell flops from side to side, then drops slowly in agonizing slow motion. He lets out a surprised "WAAA," flailing his arms and legs as he plummets toward the counter below. He lands with a sticky splat, right into a massive open blender, which is spinning furiously on the counter. The blender explodes with a sudden whir, sending juicy rose apple pulp flying everywhere. Roscoe's friends watch in suspense. Next is Bella the banana, who watches in horror as her best friend splashes into the blender. She takes a deep breath and tries to calm herself, but her yellow peel is flapping nervously, and her face is comically puckered. This looks bad," she says with a nervous laugh. "But it's fine. Got this." She bounces once, then drops down and grabs the bar. She kicks her cartoon sneakers frantically as she struggles to hold on, her face turning purple with effort. She lets out some strained laughter, but slips with a dramatic gasp, and lands with a squishy plap, right into the blender, which erupts with yellow froth and slippery peel ribbons. Undeterred, Max the watermelon bounds forward, flexing his bulging biceps and letting out a battle cry of "Let's go." He drops down and grabs the bar with a surprisingly firm grip. He hangs there for 5 seconds before slipping and smashing down with a mighty, wet explosion of red pulp and seeds that coat the camera lens in slow motion. "Holy cow," says a nearby strawberry, wiping her eyes. "That was insane." Next up is Tango the tomato, who struts forward with an air of confidence. "That was just a warm-up," he boasts. Watch this. He takes off his jacket, strikes a pose, then runs forward and leaps onto the bar. He does a spin before grabbing on, but slips midair and slams into the blades with a satisfying squelch, leaving behind nothing but swirling sauce. Finally, it's Spike the dragon fruit, spiky, cocky, and decked out in gym clothes. He walks over to the bar and announces to an imaginary crowd, "This is it, folks. The final showdown." He cracks his knuckles, then drops down and grabs the bar. "You better watch out," he yells to no one in particular. "I'm going to crush this." He grunts and shakes himself, then lets out a primal yell and drops down to hang from the bar. He dramatically grunts and yells things like, "Come on, baby, throw everything at me. Bring it on. I can take it," even though no one is there to challenge him. But after a few moments, his grip begins to fail, and he starts to slip. He screams "Noo" in slow motion as he falls toward the counter below. He lands with a crunch into the blender, and the whole thing explodes with a whir. The powerful motor pulverizes Spike into a brilliant neon vortex of magenta juice and tiny black seeds. As the blender continues whirring, a POV shot from inside shows the chaotic fruit smoothie storm. Eyes, limbs, and fragments swirl past. Suddenly, one of Roscoe's cartoon eyes pops out and winks at the camera before disappearing into the wild mix of colors and textures. After a few seconds, the POV shot ends and the blender slows to a stop. A single splash of magenta juice drips from the top and the machine whirs softly. Cut to a clean countertop with a neat smoothie glass placed beside a sign reading "Fruit Gym, Blending Dreams." Since 2024, upbeat outro music plays as text on screen reads, "Always stretch before juicing." A few moments later, a hand reaches into the blender to retrieve something. Inside, we see an anthropomorphic mango sitting on a little stool, sipping a drink through a tiny straw. He's wearing headphones around his neck and doesn't seem to notice anything unusual. The camera pans away as upbeat music swells and the screen fades to black. Now check out these hilarious clips from our previous videos. Oh my god, they're taking the boat out again, says an anthropomorphic grape, as he watches 3 anthropomorphic fruits row a tiny boat across a liquid surface. I don't want to be too much of a downer, but I think they're heading straight for the waterfall, replies a wise old pair. The 3 rowers struggle to keep their boat upright as they approach the giant cascading liquid. Oh my gosh, here goes nothing, says the grape, as the boat tips over the edge and all 4 friends tumble into the churning water below. Next, we see a group of anthropomorphic fruits performing a synchronized swimming routine in a pool full of vibrant liquid. One fruit gets distracted by a butterfly that happens to fly by and forgets to stay in sync. He quickly catches back up, but not before crashing into the rest of the group, sending them all flying through the air. Woohoo! Blast from the past, says an anthropomorphic tangerine as he sips a drink through a tiny straw. Remember when we used to ride the wild waves together? Asks a wistful orange. Yeah, good times, replies the tangerine with a dreamy expression. Suddenly, the 2 friends find themselves sucked into a swirling vortex. Whoa, this brings back memories, says the orange as the vortex pulls them deeper into its swirling depths. We hope you enjoyed this compilation of epic fails. Please like and share for more hilarious fruit adventures.